So how about 3 catching targets for the Yankees? Gettable, realistic catching targets. And again, this is a position I cannot emphasize enough that they need to beefing up. You know, they've already added some depth on minor league deals this offseason throughout this lockout, but long term they are weak at the catching position, with the exception of Gary Sanchez being their starter this year. Can't rely on him, right? Kyle Higashioka's just a backup for the most part at best. So after that, who do they have? Really nobody. Austin Wells is not projecting to be a catcher, so there's really nobody. So I want to talk about 3 catchers who I think could be gettable guys for the Yankees. So, by the way, I'm going to do some other positions, and I'm going to come back and continue doing my my move series, 3 moves for each team to get better after this lockout. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, don't leave before you do that. And always hit that notification too so that you don't miss these videos. I have a lot of good content coming out through this lockout and afterward as well. And obviously, we'll be rocking and rolling during the season as well. But if you're a Yankee fan, this place is for you. So, as well as being a baseball fan altogether. I don't discriminate against any team. But let's get to it. 3 catching targets for the Yankees, okay? First one is the most obvious. Wilson Contreras from the Cubs. Probably the most gettable. He's got 1 year of control left, just like Gary Sanchez. His offensive ceiling isn't as high as Sanchez's, but he's a more consistent kind of offensive player across the board. So he doesn't go on these ridiculous hot streaks and then these cold streaks where he can't hit a whiffle, or a basketball. So, but he's a better game caller, better defensive player than Sanchez is. So in terms of catching, which to me would be the position to get here. And we can sacrifice a little bit of offense at the catching position to get somebody that the pitchers are going to want to throw to on a regular basis. That was one of the problems with Sanchez, right? There were a couple of pitchers who didn't want to throw to him. So that's a problem. It's a red flag. So he's the most obvious, and it wouldn't cost, I don't think, a big package. But that said, these other 2 guys probably will. First one is MJ Melendez, and I've mentioned him before. He's with the Kansas City Royals, but he's blocked by Salvador Perez, who is not going to be a free agent until at the earliest 2026. Okay? That's 4 more years. And potentially he has an option for 2026, so it might be on a free agent until 2027. So you're talking 4 or 5 more seasons. This kid's just going to sit there, blocked by Salvador Perez. So he's a young, dynamic catcher. He's only 23 years old, but he's got high upside, and he's a good, solid game caller. And he's also a top 100 prospect, top 50 actually, top 50 MLB prospect. So he's a good-looking catcher. And again, tons of controllable years, pre-arb and all this stuff. So he would be a guy, but he would cost, controllable years for a catcher who's, a top 100 or top 50 prospect, cost a bit of a haul. But this is a position that the Yankees don't really have a long-term solution for. So, and anybody at the major league level, I don't really see. They're not getting, Adley Rutschman. That's not happening with some of these other guys. So let's get out of fantasy land here. But MJ Melendez is a guy. I mean, he's a gettable guy. Okay, he's number 2. And lastly is Tyler Soderstrom. Okay, he's actually the A's top catching prospect, but he's also blocked by Sean Murphy, who I proposed in many trades to get for the Yankees. And at least, if they trade Murphy for some reason, they will get a haul back, but they have Soderstrom to come in shortly after. He's 20 years old, so he's a little bit younger, a little bit more on the developmental side, but he has super high upside. He's also a top 100 catching prospect, okay? And but again, he's blocked by Sean Murphy. And again, Murphy's not a free agent until 2026. So 4 more years of control. So you got these 2 high-end, young, dynamic catchers here who don't have a path to the major leagues anytime soon, which means the Yankees could offer an aggressive package to get either one of them, okay? And I've mentioned my first choice being Sean Murphy for a long time. But if they can't get him, you have some other viable options. And obviously, Wilson Contreras will be probably the easiest to get that will require the smallest amount of return. So these are the 3 catching prospects I think the Yankees should be significantly and seriously looking at. You let me know what you think. Are there any other guys that are missing that you think would be a good fit? They think they might be that's gettable, or they should offer a big prospect package or player package for? Put them in the comments down below. Okay, and again, I'm going to be doing some other teams. I'm going to be talking about the White Sox, the Cubs, and a bunch of other ones. So those are going to be coming up next. So you're not going to want to miss them. So you know what to do. I'll be keeping them coming. Talk to you later.